Good evening, everyone. My name is Maryam, as you know by now, and I'm the host of television. And what I have to say, whenever I begin the interviews, I bring on the best guests. Now, today is a special guest, okay? And the reason why he's a special guest for me is because we go way back, right?
Yeah.
I saw him grow up and everything, and he did his little thing and stuff, right? But now, I am so excited to tell you about his new story. Okay, so Kamar, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. This is Kamar Williams.
Yeah.
And he's going to just tell just a little bit, and then we'll get into the conversation.
What you mean a little bit, like how I met you?
Girl, yes, so you can start there.
Miss Bay kind of, she watched me grow up. Like 11 years old, I was on her block. I was a little terror. I was a terror. You know, I'm from Newark, so you know.
So you're saying people from Newark are terrorists?
No, but you know, as a youngin' without a lot of guidance, you know, when you step off the porch, you jump right into the fast life, and Miss Bay is a witness to that, especially with me.
Yes.
We were terrible on her block. Yeah, we was terrible.
Okay, but things change.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and so this is a quote that I want to that I found for you.
Okay.
Okay, and I want to thank you for me finding this quote, right? Because it's by someone that I admire a lot.
Okay.
And when I say his name, everybody in the show is going to know.
Okay.
Because they know how I am about this brother. So he says, I had to overcome challenge after challenge in order to take my life from nothing to living my dreams. Are you living your dream today?
I'm working on it.
You're working on it.
I'm working on it. I'm moving forward.
Good. And the person who said that?
50 Cent.
50 Cent.
50 Cent.
How did you know that?
Because like every time we talk, you tell me to go get the 50th Law of Power. You tell me, yo, I like 50 Cent. You need to read this book. So when you said you had the quote, I already knew.
It was going to be for you.
It was for me, 50 Cent. 50 Cent.
That's right. And look at him today. Because he went through all of that too. And look at you today. And I'm so proud of him because this is what happened. A couple of months ago, you called me.
Yeah.
Right? You said that you wanted a job, right? But then you told me, you said, but Miss Bay, you know what? You said that when I get my CDL license, that you would get me a job, right? And then you tell me that you have your own business. You're doing, so what do you need a job for? I said, like, what do you need a job for? You know, I'm just letting the audience know how we had this conversation, why he's sitting here right now, okay? So all the stuff that you went through, the reason why I'm so happy to see you is that you came up through all of that, and you have a lot to be, proud of. You got your own truck. You are a CEO of your own business. Do you realize what you've done?
Yeah.
I mean, you got your CDL license.
Yeah.
You chose to do that.
Yeah.
And you did it.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about it?
It's just another accomplishment, you know, of many that's to come, believing in yourself. So I feel I might not be jumping for joy on the outside because, you know, I keep my poker face on, but on the inside, you know, I'm very proud of myself. I'm proud of myself, and not just because of my accomplishment, because I got sons and I'm teaching them a different way. You know, that they don't gotta go through anything that I went through. You know what I mean? I'm teaching them it firsthand. So yeah, I'm proud of myself. Yeah.
Yes. So what you're telling me then, telling the audience is that you want your sons to look up to you.
Exactly.
And when they look up to you with what you're doing, that means that they're going to emulate you.
Exactly.
Right.
Or be better.
Well, absolutely. We always want our children to be better.
That's right.
Okay, so that's commendable on your part that now you made a change, because 50 Cent said that when he changed his life, it was due to the birth of his first son. And that's when he started changing, you know. So we know what's going on with that right now. But however, he started changing, and then look at him today.
Very
right?
successful.
Very successful. Not only is he very successful, he's helping other people to be successful who walked in his shoes as well. So now, were you incarcerated?
Yes.
Okay. And how long were you incarcerated?
On 2 different occasions. Got a 3-year sentence on one occasion. I always found ways around the system. No ratting involved, but just take a little program, get days cut off, and then on the last one I did probably 2.5 years. The last one is what made me learn my lesson.
Beautiful, because see, this is what happens, and this is what I noticed when I was working inside, because a lot of brothers, they would be coming back and forth and everything, right? And I would say to myself, they're not ready yet, because you still have to learn the lessons. So the last time that you went is when you got it.
Yeah.
And then when you got it, you got it.
Yeah. You want to know the lesson I learned?
Yes, I do.
A life sentence is a life sentence. And it is very heartbreaking to sit next to somebody with a life sentence and talk to them. And you don't want that for yourself. So if you have the opportunity to change it, you change it.
So the brother who had a life sentence, he helped you?
If you want to say that,
because of the life sentence, because that made you think.
Yeah, his name was Mr. King. He was from Washington, D.C. And I was in the federal system. And at that time, I was in like my mid-20s. And he had been in prison as long as I've been born. And one day we just was walking the yard, talking to him, getting some game from him. And he said, "Younger, you got the chance to go out there. You know what's in here. Go out there and live. There's endless possibilities out there." And that always stuck with me, always. Even when I came home, I had trials and tribulations, not perfect.
None of us are.
I never gave up on myself. Never. Always had a vision, always had a dream, always wanted more. And I just figured out a way. Figured it out. I have very good friends, even though, we might not talk on a day-to-day basis anymore. I have a very good support system.
And that makes a difference.
It makes a lot of a difference.
And who you hang around with makes a difference too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you're hanging around with the wrong crowd, you'll be back to where you were before.
I know that.
Or if you hang around with the people who want to do something, Les Brown made the statement. He said that if you're hanging around with 5 millionaires,
you're going to be the 6th one.
You're going to be the 6th.
That's right.
So it's who you hang around with. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now, how do you feel about owning your own business?
When the business, my cousins helped me do this. I can't particularly say it's mine. Like they built it, and I just ran it. And when I was running it, it was like I was the boss. So, I ran with it. And once I got that concept, I learned how to sell drugs. So I just put what I learned from selling drugs into this. And it made me not really want to work for nobody no more, because I seen the kind of money that I could make. And I feel like when you go work for some of these companies, they're going to lowball you. They're not going to really care about you. The work that you got to know your own worth. And that's what I learned from the business aspect of things. And now it's just, as time goes on, I got so many different ideas. It's just about me putting them down and getting it done.
All right. Okay. And so what you're saying that you did was that you took those skills that you learned while you were selling drugs to do what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you know what you kind of remind me of? The brother who's the vice president of our reentry program that we've started.
Yes.
He was in prison for 5 years. His name is Lance McGraw, and he was in prison for 5 years, and he sold drugs, right? And today he's a millionaire. Okay. He used those principles that he got from the streets to do what he's doing today, because when you're out there selling drugs, you really are a business person.
You're a business person.
Right. It's just illegal.
Yeah.
You know, but you still have to have those skills in order to do what you were doing. You know, and so it's good that you flipped it, and now you're doing it a way where you don't have to worry about getting incarcerated.
Yeah, because I don't want to go to jail no more. That just,
yeah,
that's in the way.
Mm-hmm. So the OG that was inside doing a life sentence, that's what he was supposed to have done. Tell you exactly what he told you.
Yeah.
So that you can get it and you don't come back. Now, how old are you?
35.
Okay. So you wait a minute. You're going to come in here a few minutes ago and talk about how tired you are. You're 35 years old. I said you was young.
Yeah, man.
You're going to tell me, no, you're 35 years old.
I'm getting old.
Okay.
I'm getting old, man.
You got all this energy now. You got your business and everything. You like Bishop T.D. Jakes has this statement. He says, when no one doesn't clap for you, clap for yourself. So you need to be clapping for yourself because you've come a long way. And when I told my son he was going to be on it, he said, "Oh, right."
Seahawk, man. Hey, man. Tell him I said what's up when you see him. Tell him I came today.
I will.
He probably like, man, he ain't coming.
No, because I told him, I said, no, he's coming. I'll tell him when I see him.
I came.
I will. And he was really happy too. When I told him that you was
Every
coming
time
on.
I see him, I like what he doing. Like I used to see him at the airport running his little business.
Yes.
And I asked him, how I do this? I ask questions.
Right.
And you know, he always gave me good advice.
Yes.
Like always gave me good advice. Like
Right.
even when we were younger and we were terrible.
Yes.
Like you get what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
me and him would have conversations when we would see each other.
Right.
And it would be good advice. Or yo, you don't need to do this. Go, you know what I mean, do something else.
Right, right. But see, here's the thing. Everybody has to find out what their passion is, what your purpose is, right? And that's why I believe that we all have a purpose in life. But it's a process for us to find out what it is. Like T.D. Jakes says, you have to take those steps. So everything that you've gone through, that all of us have gone through, to do what we love to do, it's because we've taken those steps. And now you are what I call a testimony of success.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Well, then why do you think I say you're a testimony of success?
I come from, you know where I come from.
Go ahead.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so then, and thank you. But why do you think I say you are a testimony of success?
Because you see it. You see it.
Because I see it.
You see it.
And not just because I see it, others see it.
Other people always tell me that, but I just, you know, I ain't where I want to be at. I feel like I could go further. Like sometimes I'm down on myself because I wasted a lot of time doing frivolous things.
I need you to stop right there. Because here's the thing. You didn't waste time. You did not waste time. It's a process. Okay? If you didn't go through what you went through, you would not be sitting here now telling this story about your success. You're 35 years old, so you're still young. You have a lot more to do. Okay? So you are a testimony of success, not just for you, but for other brothers who was out in the streets. And now you're showing them that now you're putting the work in another way, right? You're putting the work in to build. Why are you laughing?
Because the way you said you're putting the work in another way, and I am.
Okay.
I am.
Okay, so guess where I got that term from?
Where?
When I was working at Kentuck, I would hear the brothers when they go back into their rooms, they would be talking about all the stuff that they were going to do when they got out, right? So I'm saying, wait a minute, they're talking about all the stuff that got them in the first place, right? So then we all gathered together for a meeting, and I asked them, I said, and they would say that they had to put the work in. So I said, so what is putting the work in? And so I said, so it's putting the work in, like when you go, you get your drugs, you gotta get the people to sell it for you, and this and I was going. He said, yeah, I said, but that put you here, right? So then I said, okay, well, let me ask you this. Is this putting in the work? I said, I dropped out of school, then I went back, I got my GED, I got 2 degrees, I got a house, I owned the school. I said, is that putting the work in? They said, yeah, Miss Bay, that's putting the work in. I said, oh, so I put the work in legally and you put the work in illegally, right? They said, yeah, you're right about that. I said, okay, so you guys need to change the way you're talking, because you're talking about going back out there doing the same thing that put you in here in the first place. They said, yeah, we never thought about that. I said, yeah, but you guys are businessmen. You got to think about using those skills to own your own business.
That's the way to win.
Yes. Yeah. That's what 50 Cent said a couple of days ago, that he used those skills while he was in, he was back and forth in prison and doing a lot of stuff. He said, but then he started using those skills. He said, because I had to get the skills in order for me to have my family live the way that I want them to live. And he did not no longer want to do it, selling drugs, because of everything that
comes with it.
That comes with it. He didn't want to do that, So that's why I'm saying to you, you're putting the work in now. So, yeah, I understand that, we get depressed, and all of us get depressed. You don't have to have been incarcerated to get depressed, because nobody is perfect, okay? So we all get depressed from time to time. But it's how you respond or relate to it. And the way you're doing it for all the right reasons. And then you're going to look around 10 years later, 15 years later, you're going to say, wow, I'm really glad I chose this road. You kind of remind me of Malcolm when he was in prison.
Who, Brother Red?
That's right. That's right. And this is what he said. When he became the minister, there were some brothers in California who were shot by the police, right? And so he had to come out there at the mosque to speak to the brothers and sisters there to kind of calm things down, right? And what the media was doing, the media was saying that they was referring to him as Red, as a criminal, all that stuff, right? And so when he was questioned about that, he said, being the criminal, I'm not embarrassed by that. He said, remaining the criminal is the embarrassment.
That is it. It is. That was deep right there. I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life, too. That was deep. That was a nice quote.
That's Malcolm X.
That was a nice quote.
Yes. Yes, I think so, too. Because a lot of brothers and sisters think when they're incarcerated, they have to continue to do what they're doing for whatever reasons, right? But you don't have to. You can use all those skills. Because look at where Malcolm came from, and look at what he became, And when he was in prison, what he did, he used the time. He didn't let the time use him. So while he was inside, he read the dictionary and definition of all the words in the dictionary.
Yeah, he had some time on his hands.
He had some time on his hands, right? But he used it to be a benefit. And so now that's what you're doing, and that's why I'm saying you need to be proud of yourself.
Trust me, Ms. Bay, I'm very proud. I'm very proud. I just always got my game face on. When I used to work, I was a machine operator for like 6 years. I've been home for almost 10. I was a machine operator for 6. And he used to say, yo, you need to smile more. My boss always said that, you need to smile more, you need to smile more. And I do smile when I'm around my loved ones. As you can see right now, I smile, when I'm around my loved ones, but when I'm in the world, poker face on. You know what I mean? You can't come play with me.
That's right.
If you could either come and talk to me like a man, and I'm gonna give you respect so I can get respect. Right. There's no zero tolerance, and then we'll build from there. So I'm smiling here.
Okay,
I'm smiling here.
Well, you know what you remind me of? When I was working at University Hospital, right? My supervisor said they were doing an evaluation of me, right? And so I got a perfect evaluation. But then she said, but when you come to work, you don't smile. I said, oh. I said, well, if you wanted a comedian, you could have hired Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Because I come here to do a job.
It's business.
Right. So I can relate to that.
It's business. You know, I'm here. I'm in a comfortable environment. You know, Ms. Bay gave me the opportunity to use her platform to share my story. So of course I'm smiling. On the inside, I'm kind of nervous. You know, it's the first time doing the interview, but you know, I'm proud of myself. It's another accomplishment that's being done.
And so, how do you feel about yourself?
I learned to love myself. You know, I learned to, as far as about myself, I think I'm a great person. Especially, you know, like right now, my biggest thing is business and fatherhood. Business and fatherhood.
Beautiful.
You know, like I always say things to my sons, and when I say it to them, I say, son, you might not understand it right now, but it's going to be a time where you're saying the exact same thing to your son 20 years from now, and then you're going to understand it. So, you know, I enjoy being a father, so that's what really gives me the push, the drive to really just be better.
Yes, and your sons need to see that.
I gotta show them that. I'm trying to get not my youngest, I'm trying to get my boy to apply for Arts High. And I'm telling them, like, yo, if you gotta do an audition, I'm in there singing with you. I don't want you to be ashamed. You know, Dad got your back, because it was so many of us out here that didn't have a father. And that's why we were reckless. So now I got the opportunity to relive my childhood, but from a father's perspective, and guide them through. You know, I don't want to control your life. I just don't want you to make the same mistakes I made.
Right, and that is what a parent want to do. Because I would say to brothers and sisters when they were inside, you know, when you have children, you don't know who's watching them.
You don't.
And if you have daughters, that's an issue, because you don't know who's there while you're here. You know, so have to give them something to think about. You know, the importance of them staying home with their family, whether they're with the mother or not.
Absolutely.
The children need to have their parents with them. You know, so now where do you see yourself? Let's say in 5 years.
5 years. I have $1 million.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have $1 million. 5 years, $1 million in the house. I'm not stopping. The grind don't stop. So, you know, if I gotta drive trucks cross country, whatever I gotta do legally to figure it out, I'm gonna figure it out. 5 years from now, I'm gonna be in a better place than I am right now.
Okay, and the fact, you know, the fact that you own your own company, you have your truck, and you got your own routes and everything set out and stuff.
Yeah, you know, it ain't a truck. It's a van. It's a van. You know what I mean? We going, but you know,
but you got your CDL license.
Yeah, but it's I learned how to hustle legally.
Yes.
I learned how to and I like hustling legally. I like it, and that's the way to win.
Yes.
That's the way to win.
Whoa, you know what you just said? In our program, Lance is going to be doing a training that he developed while he was incarcerated, and it's called Hustolution, the Evolution of a Hustler, and one of the training is called Learn to Win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everything that he has, all of the trainings, it has something to do with winning.
Gotta win.
Wow.
Gotta win.
Okay.
If you gotta think, when you look at these businesses, a business will work you for 80 hours a week and pay you the bare minimum. You get what I'm saying? And you will be worth so much more. The job that you're doing will be worth so much more, but they won't give you
That's true.
the top salary, what you're really worth. They're gonna lowball you.
That's true.
So when you learn how to hustle on your own, I don't care if you're selling dinner plates, clothes, whatever you're doing legally, if you got a little bit of, you could talk to people. When I'm out here, I know how to talk to people.
Right.
If I can make you laugh and leave a donation, all that, I'm with it. I'm trying to win. And I'm always down to help somebody else. So it ain't just me being selfish, because I'm going to definitely support others.
Right, right. Okay. Well, I know the audience, you know, I always say to the audience, because the majority of the brothers and sisters that I talk to, they have been incarcerated. And I love when they come on and they tell their story of success, as Kamar has told us today. So I just want to let you know to please continue to do what you're doing. You're on the right track. And I'm so proud of you. And I know when other people hear your story, they're going to be proud of you too.
I hope so.
Yes. And so as I said earlier, as Bishop T.D. Jakes says, if nobody doesn't clap for you, you clap for yourself. My name is Maryam Bey, and I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and have a wonderful day.